who's actually going to get joy out of a decorative vase that doubles as a light, and who might just be throwing money at a pretty piece that ends up gathering dust? If you're wondering whether the PGNEX Vase Ornament is a genuine mood setter for a living room or study, or if it's just another Niceto have that doesn't earn its price tag, you're in the right spot. Link is in the description if you want to check the product details on Amazon. I get a lot of questions about, does this thing actually work in a real home? Because the online world is full of glossy photos that hide the practical side of core. The biggest hesitation I hear is whether a decorative vase with built-in lighting can survive the everyday bumps of a hallway or the occasional curious cat, and if the ambience it promises is noticeable enough to justify the expense. Let's walk through how the PGNEX piece behaves in the places you're most likely to put it, and decide who should consider it a staple and who can safely skip it. First off, the vase is crafted using an enamel depiction process that gives it a three-dimensional, colorful look. That means the surface isn't just a flat coating, the enamel actually sits in tiny ridges that catch the light, creating a subtle shimmer. In my own study, I placed the vase on a narrow console table next to a stack of books. When I turned the built-in LED on, the light filtered through the translucent glaze and cast a gentle glow onto the surrounding walls. The effect is definitely more than a standard white night light. It adds a soft, ambient feel that makes a cramped space feel a little cozier. For anyone who spends evenings reading or working at a desk, that muted glow can reduce eye strain compared to harsh overhead lighting, while still giving the room a decorative touch. Now, what about durability? The product description says it's smooth placement, not easy to break, and from what I've seen, that's fairly accurate. The vase is lightweight, which is a double-edged sword. Because it's easy to move, you can reposition it without needing a second pair of hands, but it also means it won't withstand a heavy tumble. In a hallway with kids running past, I'd recommend placing it on a stable shelf rather than the floor. A small slip can tip it over, and while the enamel won't shatter like glass, the whole piece could chip or dent. So for households with very active pets or small children who love to knock things over, this might not be the safest bet. Another practical point is the power source. The vase uses a standard USB-C cable that plugs into an outlet adapter, included. The cord is short enough not to look messy, but long enough to reach a nearby socket without forcing the plug into the wall. During my testing, the cord stayed neatly tucked behind the furniture, and the LED stayed cool to the touch even after a few hours of continuous use. That's good news for anyone worried about heat buildup in a decorative piece that sits near books or paper. Let's talk about the visual appeal. The vase comes in a range of pastel hues, each tinted with a delicate, colorful finish that catches the eye without screaming for attention. If your interior design leans toward a minimalist or Scandinavian aesthetic, the soft tones blend nicely with neutral furniture. In contrast, if your space already boasts bold colors or heavy textures, the vase can act as a gentle counterpoint, adding a splash of lightness without clashing. For a romantic dinner setting, the diffused light adds a subtle sparkle that feels upscale, which is why some users describe it as special and adds a romantic atmosphere. It's exactly the kind of piece you'd use to elevate a casual dinner into something a bit more intimate. On the downside, the ornament's light output is intentionally low-key. If you're expecting a bright reading lamp, you'll be disappointed. The LED is designed for ambience, not illumination. That means you'll still need a separate desk lamp or overhead light for tasks that require clarity. Also, the vase's size about a foot tall means it occupies a moderate amount of floor space. In a tiny entryway, that can be a bit of a squeeze, especially if you already have a shoe rack or a coat hook nearby. It's best suited for spaces where you have a dedicated shelf, side table, or mantel. So who should buy this? If you love the idea of a decorative object that also provides a soft glow, and you have a stable spot for it like a home office desk, a living room side table, or a study nook, this vase fits nicely. It's especially appealing to people who enjoy curating small accents that bring a cohesive look to a room. Think of it as a functional art piece. You get visual interest plus a low-energy light that can set a mood without taking up a dedicated lamp slot. It also works well in hotels or B&Bs where owners want to add a unique, romantic touch.